Welcome back, everyone, to Freaky Tales Friday, and this is episode 40. And first and foremost, I want to welcome once again my co-host, Marvelous Inc. I want to thank him for being a part of the show. I want to thank him for being here. I want to thank him for sharing ahead of time. You know, I couldn't have picked a better co-host other than Marvelous. So once again, I want to thank everybody who's watching, everybody who listens. You know, I get people that like 2 weeks later tell me today, I just saw episode 39 and it was probably the best one yet so far. It's only going to get better because we have a man like this right here that's very knowledgeable in a lot of the things that we are going to talk about. So without further ado, once again, Marvelous Inc., thank you for being here.
Appreciate it once again. To all the viewers that tune in, thank you for tuning in and showing love and support. Appreciate all the comments and as well the phone calls and the stories as well that you are providing. You know, everybody that's listening in and tuning in. And thank you, Tony, to the editing team as well. Man, these brothers are hard workers right here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to ask you, have you been getting any feedback, possibly maybe a comment, maybe somebody DMs you or somebody says, hey, man, I saw you on that Freaky Tales show. Have you got anything like that since you've been on?
Hundreds of messages, bro. Hundreds of messages asking if they could share their story. A lot of them have multiple stories, but the way they want to, I guess, articulate the story, it's a lot. It's long or whatever. And so they just, I don't know, they want to get at me personally or like tell me the story. I mean, there's some crazy stories, bro. A lot of people have like some way out stuff that they have to say. A lot of it sounds unbelievable, but I know for the most part, it's probably factual stuff, you know, because right. These people, while they're speaking to me, they're getting very, you know, emotional. So.
Yeah. You know, earlier we were talking about the phone calls because there are people that really want to call in and share their stories. But the thing is that I know people may think Tony wants to cut me off, but keep in mind that when you call, all I'm asking is get straight to the point, because there's a lot of times that many callers, they're probably excited or they're probably nervous that they go off on rabbit trails. Mm-hmm. And or they'll share a story and then they'll say, well, I have another story. I just try to be considerate that there are other people that are calling at the same time you're calling, and you've already taken 5 minutes. 2 minutes should be sufficient for somebody to call, get to the point, share their story, and allow us possibly to elaborate. I'm not trying to be mean, but I just want to be considerate to everybody else who wants to call in. Call in and share one story. Save it for the next time or call back. But I like to give everybody an opportune time. Keep in mind, you're sharing a story. This is not a conversation between us, and I'm trying to say that as the nicest way possible. So eventually, after our intermission break, we'll go ahead and get into our calls. You guys can call, and you guys can share your stories, and once again, be considerate of the time. Marvelous, during the week, I had sent you a video, because I've been watching lately a lot, you know, like yourself. Whether if I'm not reading, there's something I'm watching on TV, something that I know that could be beneficial and educational to us, not just a bunch of trash.
Right.
But I saw something on 60 Minutes on YouTube. And for those of you that are interested in this story, DM me or DM him, and we'll send it to you. But it's on YouTube, and I sent it to him because I thought it was really interesting. And it's something that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the mind of a murderer, the mind of a murderer, okay? That's one of the topics we're going to be talking about. And this guy, well, they were interviewing his sister. She had did time for murder as well. This guy was considered a serial killer in Australia. And he had got convicted because he killed the man. I believe he hit him with a hammer or a hacksaw over 40 times, and he had no problem admitting this. Then he cut off the man's head. Then he cut off the man's hands. And he confessed that he grabbed the man's hand that he cut off, dipped it in that man's blood, and on the wall, he wrote Satan. He wrote the pentagram. He was showing the police where he was going to put the head in a pot. You know, just so many things. And it was just so normal for him to talk about it. Like nothing with, how would you say? It's almost like he had no conscience.
No empathy.
No empathy at all. That's the word. And when they asked his sister, do you think your brother is a serial killer? Do you think he's a murderer? Do you think he's guilty? And he said, no, absolutely not. She thought there was absolutely nothing wrong with it. But and then again, we're talking about a woman that put a hit on her own father. Yeah, on her own father. So my question to you is this, you know, before we get into some of these serial killers, what do you think it is? And if you can somehow elaborate that triggers these people, what do you think makes them do this? Is it something you think they heard, something they saw, something they were taught? You know, or I can always go back to this quote. And I read it when I got on social media in 2017. It says, my parents raised me right, but I chose to do wrong all on my own.
Right.
Okay. If you can elaborate a little bit, what do you think goes on in these people's minds?
Man, so honestly, bro, my first from studying and stuff like that, biblical history, prophecy, scripture, stuff like that, demonology. My first instinct to say what it would be is a curse on their bloodline, on stuff that's already, you know, that they're supposed to, it sounds ugly, but stuff that they're supposed to be doing or what they were created to do, to cause mischief or whatever. The second thing would be, because there's a multitude of answers, bro, that I could give you. The other one would be a form of possession, and not literally where you could see the person being possessed, where they're screaming out and doing all this and that, but there's certain spirits that inhabit a person's body, you know, and it could make you do certain shit. That would be the other thing. The other thing is I've watched a number of interrogations and I forgot what you call them. Just sit downs with serial murderers and people that have killed multiple people, and their mindset is these people were lonely children. Maybe they were ignored when they were baby. Like most of them were ignored, or they didn't have both parents in their life, and they were just shut out of everything. They didn't have a lot of friends in school, and so their first killing, first murder was somebody that they killed them to keep them around. So they wouldn't leave. They wouldn't be able to leave. They wanted to have them with them, you know. And after that, you know, I mean, of course, their body's gonna decompose and go through that whole process. So it's very easy for them to do it again. They just get better at it.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a trip, you know.
So it's pretty much a different answer for every individual.
Right.
I believe you were talking about you not only saw interviews, but I believe interrogations, or I think they were called depositions.
Right.
Yeah. Whenever they speak to these people, and many of these people, it's almost like they don't have a problem sharing what they did. It's almost like the spotlight is on them. It's almost like a ego thing. Where did you bury the body? Can you show us on it? Oh, it was right here. Where did you kill this man? Well, I killed him. I met him right here. I brought him home, and we had sex, and then I just killed him.
Yep.
And it's almost like
very nonchalant.
Very nonchalant. These people are very, very empty. You had no compassion, no empathy, like you said. And I just watching that to myself, and I think a lot of us have the capacity to, if somebody does something to us, to want to hurt them for what they did to us.
Right.
But I cannot see myself doing what these people did and then go back home and live a nice, comfortable life and even being liked by society.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, we could even take it a step further. Growing up in the hood, just like yourself, we knew gangsters and then we knew killers. You hardly ever saw the killers because they were always, you know, low key, but we knew who they were, if you will. And sometimes I was talking to one guy And I remember I asked him a question, and this was between us. This was like in late 80s. And I asked him, man, I know you don't really shoot, but you like to stab. And he goes like this. Ooh. And I go, what does that mean? And here's what he said. I remember the first time I stabbed somebody in their back. Oh, that feeling never went away. And it was like it turned them on.
Yeah. It's a very personal thing, bro. To kill somebody and to murder somebody are two different things, and people don't have an understanding of that. A murder is a very personal thing. You're able to feel that person's frequency, their energy as you're taking their life. You're seeing that. But when you kill somebody, they just die automatically. You know, I don't think there's any satisfaction in that. Even with gang members, when gang members go out and they kill out a so-called enemiga or whatever, there's no satisfaction in that afterwards. And it's I don't know, bro. I think murderers, it's a different thing. It's just a habitual thing. It becomes a habit, bro, and they like it. They end up doing it again and again, and they get better at it. And how am I gonna do it this time? Or they critique themselves, or I should have done it this way, or maybe I should have wore a wig or a mat, or however they're gonna do it, bro. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah.
You know, I saw an interview with the gentleman who caught Richard Ramirez, the Latino. I believe he's Chicano. He's a co-host now with George Lopez on his podcast, and he said that in order for him to understand the mind of a murderer, that he talked to, I believe it was a psychologist that had interviewed multiple murderers. And here's what he said. This psychologist told this detective that sex to them, and when he's saying them, to the murderers, sex to them is whatever makes them feel good. It's like men love sex. We're attracted to women. We like that. But to these men, from the understanding of this psychologist, that was sex to them.
Right.
It made them feel good.
A release of endorphins in the brain.
Perfectly
Pure
said.
satisfaction.
Yes, that's what it was to them. And when I heard that, se me prendió el foco, like the light turned on. I was like, wow, I never saw it like that. It's what makes them feel good. So they get off on it, and that's why they don't stop until they get caught. Some have said, and we'll get into him as well, have said, I'm glad that I got caught because I probably would not have stopped. You know? So one of the first ones that I want to talk about, but before I get into him, I do want to share something, because you said something that is possibly, and I'm paraphrasing what you said, it's passed down through the bloodline, you said, when we were talking about murders.
Right.
Okay. And I know you mentioned you studied scriptures. Now, if the Bible's true, and I want to say this because I know there's probably atheists out there watching, there's probably people out there who don't believe, but just take it as a grain of salt, okay, what I'm about to say. If the Bible's true, they bring Jesus, okay, before Pontius Pilate, and here we have the Pharisees are telling Pilate, crucify him, crucify him, crucify him, because they found him guilty, according to them, for healing on the Sabbath. Okay. Pilate goes on and says, you know what, I find no fault to this man, you know, I'll wash my hands, you guys do with him as you will. They start yelling, crucifying, crucifying, crucifying. So then he says, what has this man done? They didn't even answer that question, but here's what they said. Let his blood be upon us and our children. You don't want to do that. You don't want, you're already cursing your next generation.
Right.
So that's what I got when you said sometimes it could be passed down, you know, so. The first guy that I want to talk about is somebody out of New York, and his name is David Berkowitz, a.k.a. the Son of Sam. Terrorized people in New York from 1976 to 1977. Berkowitz claimed that he was told by a demon dog to shoot his victims. He killed 6 people before getting caught in 1977. Berkowitz received 6 life sentences. Okay. Now, I think what was interesting about that is because earlier we had talked about, is it something they saw, something they heard, something that somebody taught them? He gives us his answer. Whether it's real or not, this is his answer, that a demon dog told him what to do. And he went ahead and did it. Like it was almost like he was under the spell of this dog. Is something like that possible?
I mean, whether it's a dog talking to them or whatever, I still feel it's a like a form of possession. I mean, still, we're not able to see the spiritual realm, and a lot of people don't want to accept that there's a spiritual realm. And a lot of atheists don't believe in scripture or what identifies as spirituality and stuff like that. But I believe there's a spiritual realm, bro. All these shadows and shadow people, skinwalkers, and all that. I believe that to be facts, bro, from my personal experiences and just a lot of these stories that people tell. You know, and a lot of people can live a normal life. You know, and all of a sudden, like I was just reading up on a story on the dude from Sons of Anarchy, bro.
Okay.
Do you remember? Did you watch that show?
I watched a couple, not a lot.
Okay, there was an actor in there, and people probably don't even know this that are watching right now. They called him he had one testicle. They call him half sack. Okay, that dude ended up he fell off his bike. He had a motorcycle accident. He had a bump on his head or whatever the heck, and he ended up going when he came to try to live a normal life again. He had like a British accent all of a sudden, and he ended up going crazy, bro. He ended up killing this woman that he was staying with, an older elderly woman, and all kinds of stuff. He said that he was hearing voices. And you know, he was getting busted for all kinds of stuff, and you know, people thought he was on drugs, but when they tested him, his body, when they did the autopsy, he had no drugs in his system, bro. And those voices that he was hearing, I believe that was real shit. You know, he was probably possessed. You know, on one of the last fights that he had, or when he killed that lady and he was attacking his neighbor, they were hitting him, and he was not fazed by it. Like they said, he was just looking at you, like in your face, like with no expression, no nothing. Like if it wasn't him, he was like something was embodying him.
Wow.
Yeah. So I believe these people have a form of that. You know.
Okay. Yeah, because I believe it was God. I'm trying to remember that director's name who did Do the Right Thing. I believe Spike Lee. I believe he's the one that made that movie, Son of Sam. It's actually a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it's a dope movie.
Yeah,
I like that movie.
And there's the Netflix series now it's been out maybe possibly a year on David Berkowitz, and I saw that. I learned some things that I didn't know about him, but during that year, everybody was terrorized because he was going up to people that they were either making out in the car, they were sleeping with each other in the car or whatever, and he would just, you know, shoot them and kill them. Now, one person had said in that documentary that he was supposedly a part of a satanic cult. And it was more than just him, but that they were just saying that he took the rap for everything. I don't know, because I never talked to David Berkowitz, but this guy's still alive. This guy's still alive. And I saw an interview with him. This was not in the documentary, but an interview with him where he said that he believes because of what he did, he should never be released.
Right.
And at the same time, word has it that he became a born-again Christian.
Yeah.
So my thing is this. Again, and I shared this from the book of Genesis, that once again, if this story is true, we had Adam and Eve in a perfect world. And since there were no other people there, Satan had to possess a body, so he possessed a serpent that spoke to the woman. Now, whether it was, you know, through the mind or through the mouth, we don't know. I wasn't there. But I kind of, if you will, liken this story to that, because here he is saying that an animal spoke to him. So I just wanted to make that point. Is it possible? I don't know, but I agree with a lot of what you said. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've never seen a dog talk, and I'm pretty sure 99% of the people never seen a dog talk, but I guarantee you we've all heard voices before. So the next guy that I want to talk about is Richard Ramirez, and this is somebody that a lot of us, especially if you're from LA, you know this guy because he had everybody terrorized. Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker, was an avowed Satanist that terrorized the greater Los Angeles area, as well as San Francisco for a time, from June 1984 to August 1985. Richard Ramirez. Richard was random and ruthless. That's my typo. His victims, simply the unlucky souls that happened to live at one of the houses he would break into. So he would just, the crazy thing about him is that he didn't have a pattern.
It was just random.
It was just random, okay? In all, Richard Ramirez was convicted of 13 counts of murder, 5 counts of attempted murder, 11 counts of sexual assault, and 14 counts of burglary. He was sentenced to death, but he died in prison on June 7th, 2013, from complicated stemming from B-cell lymphoma. Okay. Now, this guy died in jail. Now, during that time that when he was first arrested, my brother, and they kind of talked a little bit about that in the documentary. And this is why I have been trying to get a hold of that detective who's a part of George Lopez show now. Because I would like to bring him here and us talk to him.
Yeah.
You know, because he sat down with him. My brother knew certain people, the law enforcement, and there were so many people calling in saying, I'm the Night Stalker. I'm the Night Stalker. You know, you just have a bunch of those goofy guys like that. And none of them matched. Like, well, what did you do? What did you do? They would only release certain things to the media, and those callers were only repeating what was released.
Yeah.
Okay. Like that he would kill and then he would have sex with them. But what they didn't know is that he was gouging some of their eyes out. Okay. And not only gouging their eyes out, but he would have sex with them after they were dead. You know, or he would with blood right on the wall, or sometimes even make himself something to eat. You know, and I mean, there was one instance I believe they shared it in the documentary where he ate something and then he ended up throwing it up. Probably didn't sit well with his stomach. Killing somebody could sit well with him, but not, you know, a banana or something. You know, so you look at a guy like that. You know, they give his whole story. He said he had a rough childhood. Look, I don't care. A lot of us have had rough childhoods. We never went and did that.
Right.
You know?
Right.
If, and I'm going to ask you a what if question, and I believe I might have even touched on it before on a past episode. If you had an opportunity before he died to sit down and talk with him, would you have?
With
Richard Ramirez?
No, I wouldn't care to talk to him. None of them, actually. I wouldn't want that energy around their energy around me. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't care. You know, I think that they should have died the same way what they did to the people, bro. Like automatically. I don't believe there should be no trial for them. Just put them, whatever they did, bro, it should happen to them 10 times worse. That's just my personal, you know, belief. I don't want to hear why your explanation on why you want to justify your actions. Just you handle that. Take them out.
Share a quick story. I had a friend. I'm trying to remember his name because he's from India. And if you're watching this, I believe his name is Farouk. That was his name, okay, from India. And he told me a story. And this was during the OJ trial, okay? By the way, I believe that OJ did it, okay?
Me too, bro.
Okay. So.
Did you see, I'm so sorry.
No, go for it.
Did you see the hypothetical confession?
Yes. And he admits everything.
Everything, bro. And you know what's crazy about that is that the knit cap that they found there at the crime scene, there was hair, you know, that identified kind of matching his blood type.
Yeah.
But it didn't. This is facts, what I'm saying. It's not like a made up story. But who it did match, the hair, it matched his son. That's what was crazy about it. Like, damn. And he tells a story in the hypothetical question how there was this dude, he gives him a name, and he's the guy that handed him the knife. And he said, hey, you know what's going on over there? You know, it shouldn't be happening or whatever.
Wow. I
And that's when they head over there. I thought that was pretty trippy, you know, for him to say that hypothetical thing and then laugh about it. And
yeah.
it's a trip.
Hopefully I can remember what I was said about.
My bad, bro.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I know we were saying something about OJ.
Yeah.
And then
Farouk.
Thank you. So this was during the OJ trial, and I remember this guy's from India. He's only been here for a couple of years. And I remember he's sitting in his office, he's looking at the trial, and he's just nodding his head. And I kind of wanted to just push him for an answer, and I go, "What's the matter, man?" You know, and he goes like, "This guy right here." He goes, "This guy right, he's guilty. He's guilty. He's guilty." And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "I talked to my family in India. You know, they're watching this, and it's guilty." And I said, "Okay." He goes, "I'm going to tell you about justice." This is a story he told me. He goes, there was a lady from Orange County that went to go visit my country. She was pregnant. She went there for maybe a couple of weeks, he said. There was a police chase where the police were chasing a kind of like a big-time drug dealer. That's what he tells me. He goes, and when he was running, he went up to this lady and pulled a gun at her and said, give me your car, give me your car. Not knowing, you know, other than she was a white lady, but didn't know who she was, didn't know where she was from. And the lady said, you know, like, I guess in awe, she just like, what are you doing? And he shot her in the stomach.
Oh.
Yeah, he shot her, and then he shot her. I mean, shot her in the stomach and then shot her to kill her.
Right.
He gets in the car, takes off. The cops get him. Okay. They fly her body back. The family out here pleads for justice. For justice. And here's what they did. And they sent them, maybe I shouldn't be saying this, but a lot of you guys don't know who it is. They sent him the videotape along with a letter that justice was served. They took him to the marketplace. They filmed him. They put his head down, I guess, on a piece of log, and they just chopped his head off right there. He did it. He deserves no rights. We caught him. He's dead. That's it. So that was the mentality that this guy had watching the OJ trial. He says, here, you guys have too many rights. And here's what he said. I thought it was kind of funny because he considered himself not a Hindu, but a Muslim man. And he said, that's why a lot of our countries hate America, the big devil. He said, because they give you guys too many rights. He goes, that's why guys like this are getting away with it.
They call us spoiled over here.
Yeah. You know, I mean, look, I'm thankful that we do have rights because you wouldn't be able to go anywhere else and get away with the stuff that you do here, man. You wouldn't. And I'm thankful that I live here in this country. Now, we can nitpick and talk about how bad this country is, but at the same time, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. This is just me. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. I've toured everywhere, and every time I've landed back in LA, I wanted to kiss the ground because to me, this is home. But in a third world country, there's no justice over there. There'll be justice for them by either cutting off your hands or cutting off your head. You know, we saw that movie, I believe it was Hotel Rwanda, where they will cut off your arm for stealing, say, short sleeve or long sleeve.
Yeah.
You know, so, but now, Richard Ramirez ends up dying, and then he ends up confessing a lot of stuff to a lot of people. But here's the crazy part. What kind of people are attracted to those kind of men that even end up marrying them?
A lot of women, bro. And I don't even think they're women. They're just as nasty. If you got that mindset that you could be with a motherfucker, excuse me, but be with somebody like that, bro, man, I don't know, man. There's just some twisted ass people, man. Like, and they seem to get so like they're just like, man, they're dedicated, bro. Look at how many women. What's his name had? Manson. He had all kinds of women trying to marry him,
and down for him.
And young girls. Young girls.
Yes, and he knew what he knew he had him.
Yeah.
You know. Let's move on really quick. We got a couple more. Ted Bundy, described as the one true psychopath, Bundy admitted to killing 30 young women in 7 states from 1974 to 1978. Though the number is likely much higher. A calculated killer, Bundy would lure young, attractive women to his car, where he would, and I have always have a hard time pronouncing this word, bourgeon and strangle them. In other words, beat them.
Legend.
Yes, yes, there you go. After transporting them to a highly researched secondary site, he would rape them, torture them, ultimately murder his victims, often returning to the scene several times to perform more sexual acts with them or with the corpse. Although sometimes he would just dress them up, paint their nails, wash their hair, and lay with them. He was executed by electric chair on January 24, 1989. Now, that's Ted Bundy. Now, this guy was a very, very smart, intelligent man. When he came to law, when he came to school, many people say he was a good-looking guy. In documentaries, they'll say he had a Hollywood look. I didn't see that crap, but Hollywood likes to make these guys superstars. And he had a wife. He had a wife, and the wife had a kid. He would go and do these things and then come home and then cuddle with wifey and live a normal life. See, and that's kind of what I want to bring out, la mentalidad, the mentality of an individual that can go and be a monster, turn it off, or does he turn it off, and then come home and spoon his wife? Right.
I don't think that you know, these people have a man, what do you call that? Those people that like to bondage. Like some people have maybe he couldn't get something out of his wife like that, you know, so he wants to try and possess it himself. A lot of these killers talk about possession, how they want to possess that body, that person's body, so they after they kill them, they contort their body a certain way, or they'll dress them up like however they want to dress them up, and they lay with them after, and they even have sex with them. They take them baths after. There was this one serial killer, well, he ended up being a serial killer, bro, until he got caught. He was accumulating so many bodies in his apartment complex complex that they call the plumber. They're having problems in the plumbing system.
Okay.
So the plumber gets there, and he's outside of the apartment complex, and he's pulling out like chunks that he thought it was chicken, and there was like pieces of bone and fleshly meat. And he goes, I can't take all this out. You know, it's not all coming out. I'll be back tomorrow to finish it. When he went back the next day, it was all cleaned out. There was nothing. Like he said somebody came and deliberately did this. So the police came and they started going through each apartment, their plumbing, each apartment. And it was only from his apartment complex was it plugged up. So they went in his house and in his apartment, and they told him, you know, let us search. You know, we know that something's going on here. And they smelled an odor, bro. And he had so many bodies. And he told them, you know, I got like about 7 bodies in the closet or whatever. And he talked about the first person that he killed. He had nowhere to put him. He had laid with them or whatever. And there was a floorboard under his apartment complex that he kind of stuffed them under or whatever. But like 2 weeks later, he took him out and took him a bath again and laid him with him. He was talking to him like, you know, trying to, have something that was his, you know?
Right.
It's a trip.
And is this available for people to see?
Yeah, bro.
Do you remember the guy's name?
I need to look for it, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. See, now, and then this guy right here, what he would do, and there's a actor named Zac Efron who used to be on a show called, what was the name of that show? Do you guys remember that? Anyways, the actor is Zac Efron. And he actually played Ted Bundy. He played a great role. And I saw documentaries on Ted Bundy. And this guy would have a fake cast and maybe have a crutch. And he would have a bug, a Volkswagen. And he would tell the lady, hey, you know, can you help me get in? And as soon as they try to help him get in, he'll hit him over the head with his cast. Or a lot of times he'll have a broken leg, according to him. And he'll have a crutch and a broken arm. The ladies will try to help him in. He'll hit him over the head, and that's just pretty much the things that he would do to pretty much kidnap them. Okay, one clue though, one clue that gave him away, and this was not in the Netflix documentary. This was another one where they actually interviewed, I believe it was the wife that was living with them, because she's the one that ratted him out. That when she found out that this guy was actually literally sleeping with these dead bodies, that rang a bell to her, because she said that while Ted Bundy was having sex with her, there were times that he would choke her and tell her, don't breathe, don't move, just leave your eyes open, pretend you're dead.
Hell no. That's crazy.
And she recognized a lot of those similarities. So she's the one that actually ratted him out. So the next guy, before we move on, this is the last guy. Then we'll move on to our next topic. Is Jeffrey Dahmer. Okay, because that story sounded a lot like Jeffrey Dahmer's. Okay.
I'm sorry, real quick, bro. The name of that guy is it's a story on Dennis Nielsen. Dennis Nielsen. It's a story. It's a crazy story, bro. If you want to see a good part of it, it's on the Mr. Ballin show on YouTube. And he gives a good in-depth story, bro, on that. It's crazy.
Okay, so Jeffrey Dahmer, also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal, Jeffrey Dahmer was arrested for the rape, murder, and dismemberment of 17 males in the Wisconsin area from 1978 to 1991. 1978 to 1991, wow.
Crazy.
Even more despicable, many of his later murders involved cannibalism, necrophilia, and permanent preservation of certain parts of the dismembered bodies. Sentenced to 15 life terms, eventually 16, he was beaten. I don't even know why I put. He was beaten to death by a fellow inmate on November 4th, 1994. So he pretty much, since he got arrested in 1991, he lasted about 3 years. Rumor has it that they stuck a broom up his behind and they broke it. They killed him. Okay. Now this is true that they found, I believe, everything from the males except their penis. Like he was eating the male penis.
He wanted a banana.
Yeah, a banana or huevos con chorizo.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's unbelievable how the way these guys think. You know, when the cops came in and checked on him, when they found all these bodies, he just kind of gave in and just started like this guy that you talked about. Okay, well, I have bodies here. I have bodies in the fridge, and I have bodies here, and it's just unbelievable. And these guys, and I'm going to tell you this, and I know people are probably going to get mad at what I'm about to say, but being a Mexican man, you know, growing up with raza, growing up with blacks, we see these things and we think, how can this how can this be? How can it go on for so long?
Mm-hmm.
And many times, these guys are white guys, and nobody suspects them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now
one of the killers, bro, on an interview, I don't know if it was Bundy or I think it was Bundy or Gacy. They used to wear reading glasses, bro. And he goes, yeah, I used to pick up these hitchhikers and kill them. And go, how did why would they get in the car with you? And so he turns around and he puts the reading glasses. He's looking at the interviewer and he's saying, would you get in the car with me? And he goes, yeah, well, you look like an innocent dude.
Right. See, now here's the crazy part. You could put Ted Bundy next to you.
Yeah.
And then they'll say one of these guys is the killer. And you know who they all point at?
Me?
Immediately. Yeah. Now let me ask you this: why do you think that is?
I don't know, bro. I mean, the people don't judge people on their character because they don't get to know them. Yeah. You know, they say, when you hear somebody gossip about somebody, you're only getting 10% of who that person really is. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people are judgmental. That's why they say don't judge a book by its cover. And that's true. You really got to get to know a person and their habits, the way they speak or conduct themselves, bro. And I was telling somebody it has nothing to do with this, but I was telling, we're talking about relationships and stuff like that, and how when men, the stuff we pick at or we nitpick on about women or whatever, and I say, you want to know if a woman's, really keeps her house clean or whatever, go in the restroom and look behind the toilet. And go see if she wipes that down, and it's no bash against women or nothing. It's just, it was kind of funny to think about that. Like, how many women really clean behind the toilet, the little screws and all that stuff, bro.
Wow. I grew up saying that, here's how you know if a woman's clean, look at her feet.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's a good one too.
There's a quote that says this, and I think you hit on it. You said, don't judge a book by its cover. Right. But this gives it a little bit more. The reason why people judged a book by its cover is because they don't know how to read.
That's good.
Yeah. So if somebody sat down with you and Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy and spoke to them, they would eventually know. But when you judge the book by its cover, for some reason, and I've heard this from a lot of people, a lot of my guests, when you look at the white guy, for some reason, he's good. And I think that's part of the reason why they've gotten away for so long. Some people may get mad that I said that, but the facts are there.
Yeah.
Okay. So a couple other guys, we won't get into them, but John Wayne Gacy, this was the guy that was dressed like a clown,
right?
And he was loved and adored by his community,
right.
And then they ended up finding, excuse my language, 29 fucking dead bodies under his house, and they never suspected him. One good thing that I'm glad that they did, they tore OJ's house down and they tore John Wayne Gacy's house down. Make sure I don't know anybody that would want to live there.
Right.
So then I say Ed Gein, some people say Ed Gein. He was another cannibal dude. That's where they got the idea from, I believe, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Right.
Okay. And then we had, what was the name of the guy? Was it Richard Chase or no?
Okay. Damn, I'm not sure, bro.
I believe you. Another guy you guys could look into is Richard Chase. He was another murderer. Now, one thing about some of these guys, not all of them, but many of them took drugs. Okay, and I'm going to mention some of the drugs from today, and I'm going to ask you a question after I read these drugs. Okay, some of these drugs that I'm going to mention are Norcos, Oxycontin, fentanyl, Vicodins, promethazine / codeine, etc. Okay, do you believe that if a person took these, and I'm not just saying this for everyone, this is just a question, can they open doors to possibly cause this or to cause harm in somebody?
Yeah, because those are not only medications for pain, but there's psychiatric medication. There's psychiatric ingredients that are in there, bro, that you mess with your pineal gland. Then that's really where you're opening doors now. A lot of people go, oh, smoke. A lot of people are into smoking weed, and they legalized weed. Well, the weed that a lot of people, most people are smoking today isn't original weed. It's not original bud that's beneficial to your body, that would benefit your body, that will kill cancer. All this shit is hybrid.
Yes.
It's all hybrid, and it's not, what do you call it?
Is it safe to call it designer weed?
Yeah, it's not real. None of it's grown, how do you say it, organically, bro. It's all hybrid, sprayed. There's a chemical it's in water too, atrazine, that is sprayed on these plants, and what does that do? It removes the testosterone from men and the estrogen from women, making young boys act more like women and young women act more like boys. It's a trip. Like, why is that being put into our so-called medical marijuana? There's no reason for that.
Oh, okay, you just opened the door there, and I kind of want to touch on it a little bit. Today, you said, and for lack of better words, and maybe you can repeat it, it makes boys act like women, and then women act like men.
Right.
Okay, vice versa. Okay. Quick story. I won't mention his name because he shared this story only with me.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when, around the time that I started seeing all of this happen, because it's happening more now than ever before. Okay. This guy calls me one day, and he knew that I was somewhat knowledgeable in the scriptures, and I don't know what he expected from me, other than possibly he wanted to vent to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to do with what you just said, that his daughter wanted to become a boy. She was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And he just said, man, I love her so much. I don't know what to do. She wants to get all of this chopped off. She dresses like a boy, she even fights with boys. And now he goes, I don't even know if it's he or she, because she even gave herself a boy name. She wants me to refer to her as that. And now when we talk, she doesn't want to talk to me. She'll go to her room, lock the door, and she just wants to text me.
What the hell?
So I noticed a lot already wrong with that story, where she would just go to the room and then just start texting him, and that's how they would communicate. Okay, so now here's the crazy part. Let's just say he referred to her as Paul now. Okay, so she's a boy.
Yeah, not Paulina, Paul.
Right. So she's a boy now. She tells him, I want you to meet my girlfriend. So he said, fine then. Now keep in mind, he's bending over backwards because he loves his kid. Okay. Brings in a girlfriend. There was something weird about the girlfriend. After a couple of times of the girlfriend coming over, he realized that girl that was his girlfriend is a boy that wants to be a girl.
Man.
So here we have, in reality, a boy and a girl that want to be with each other, but the boy wants to be a girl, and the girl wants to be a boy, so they're together. And I just said, you lost me on that one, man.
Yeah.
I said, you lost me. He goes, I don't know what to do, man. I don't know what to do. Now, people were coming down on him because they were like, well, that's just the way, she was born.
Right.
That's just the way, you got to accept it. So my thing is, now we're seeing a little more of that, where kids are deciding what they are.
So you want to hear a trip? They just passed a law, bro, and this is in California. I forgot the name of the law. I have it on my pad with all the other laws.
Yes.
They just passed a law with the school system is allowing children to identify as whatever they want to identify without notifying the parents of what they want their gender to be, or what they want them to be known as, even an animal.
No, the animal is true.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The animal is true, and I'll tell you why. Because I interviewed a pastor here, and his wife, I believe, works with the school system up north. And in there, they have like like if you have a dog or a cat, and they have, I don't want to call it a bucket, but where they go pee or they go do number 2 or whatever.
Right.
But they have them now in girls and boys' restrooms, in case a boy or a girl wants to use it, or they identify themselves as an animal, they can take a piss or a crap in that little potty, whatever.
That's some bullshit.
Now, regardless of what laws they pass, isn't it the family's job to raise the kid?
Right.
To address that?
Mm-hmm.
I would not, look, I would love my kid, but I wouldn't be bending over backwards. There would have to be a boundary where I would say, this is where I stand with this.
Mm-hmm.
Am I ever going to stop loving you? No. But can I support that? No. You know, now I may even get in trouble for even saying what I'm saying, but you know what? We do have freedom of speech.
Mm-hmm.
I think we still do.
No.
You know, so, but that's where we're at. And
Yeah.
so you're saying that, well, you're not saying, you're saying that there's, if you will, facts out there that they're putting this not only in marijuana, but also in water?
Yeah, in the water since the 1970s. They've been doing it. Atrazine. Wow. Look it up. Atrazine for anybody that wants to research it.
But you know what? It almost seems like in this generation, they're targeting children.
Yeah, well, because that's supposedly the future, and that's the best thing to you know, target children with anything. That's the first consumer. Always going to be the first consumer, then women, then men.
I mean, because I know, like for an example, McDonald's, they don't cater to the family; they cater to your kid.
Yeah.
You want that toy?
Mm-hmm.
Come. You want to play in these, you know, swings or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Then come. And the kids tell the parents, we want to go, we want to go, we want to go, and that's where they go.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have a word where some people refer to babies as theybies.
Oh wow, I never heard that one.
Theybies, because they don't want to give them a gender. You know. Now, you guys can Google this, okay? And I'm not lying to you when I say this. This was public knowledge. I didn't make this up. Whether these people really said this or not, it was in the quotations and it had their pictures. Like Will Smith's son, I guess he was younger. When he was younger, he had said that he had considered in the future cutting off his penis because he doesn't want to be referred to as a male or a female. Okay, he's just a person. Miley Cyrus, that girl, she said the same thing. She didn't want to be referred to as a male or a female. She didn't want to be put in a box.
Mm-hmm. So the Will Smith thing, and I know that has to do with the cult that he's involved in, whether they want to admit it or not. Throughout, you could type in on YouTube, Will Smith kissing son. Throughout his whole lifetime, Will Smith is practically macking his son down.
Wow.
Real, like on every show, bro. It's sick, sickening. I don't know. I still, even with my babies, I have a newborn baby, but I could never kiss my kids in the mouth. I just can't do it, bro. Like,
right. Well, you know, some people can't do it, and the sad thing is, you got other people tongue kissing their dog.
Well, yeah.
You know, and I never understood that. You know, I mean, you have animals that lick their own butts, and then here you are, you know,
sucking on his tongue.
Yeah, sucking on his tongue, pretty much. Now, where we were going with this, as far as these drugs, now, these drugs are out there and they're prescribed. Then people are getting hooked. What does the medical field do for the people that get hooked on these drugs?
Nothing.
Maybe more drugs?
Yeah, they're saying that, well, we warned you. It says right there on the label in another language or small as heck that you're not going to take the time to read it because you're in so much pain. You know, when these drugs first came out, like Vicodin, and you could go on YouTube and look at the promotion of these pills, Vicodin, Norco. They were happy commercials that they used to show. Oh, she's enjoying herself in the walk in the park today. She has no more pain. She's suddenly energized, and she's talking, giving her whole spiel on how good this drug is working for her. Fast forward 10 years later, 5 years later, 7 years later, they're saying, I should have never took those pills. Yeah. Most of them died. They died from liver failure, kidney failure, you know?
Yeah, you know what? I've known people, again, back in 2005, that right now are in terrible pain because they were pill poppers, you know, and they were abusing it. They like you said, happy time, party time, then started popping them with tequila, then started popping them with beers, and now their body's deteriorating, you know, and I think I said that right.
Yeah.
And my spine is deteriorating. You know what? I fell down. I cannot heal anymore, and now I'm in pain. So, and I don't want to take those pills anymore because they did this to me. And I'm like, wow. But I talked to this one guy that back then he was popping 25 a day, 25 a day with beers, and he ended up becoming a heroin addict.
Yeah.
You know, and then I ended up hearing that it wasn't part of the heroin family, and I'm like, man, they're giving away legalized drugs that are gonna kill people, pretty much. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we touched on this. Now, when you're high on some of these drugs, because, well, before I give you my question, I'd hurt my back around that the year that I said 2004, 2005. I had hurt my back, my lower back, and I've never been one to like break this, break that, okay? But I really hurt my back. I went to my doctor, and the first thing that they recommended was, I believe it was 800. I believe 800 milligrams of Vicodin.
Mm-hmm.
Big fucking jar. And I popped one, okay, because it was hurting me. And I'll be honest with you, I did not like the way I felt.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like some people.
Do you remember if you ate with it?
You know what? I don't remember. No, I don't. But I did because I remember they told me take it after you eat.
Mm-hmm.
And when I popped it, I had a like Oscar feeling. I felt like my head was spinning, you know, a little bit. It just wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't feel my pain go away, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember I called up a friend and I just said, hey, man, you know what? I took this. This person said, give it to me.
Damn.
And he goes, I'll give you $5 for each one. And I was like, bro, just come by. You can have them. And I just dealt with the pain, bro. I just went to therapy. My back got you know, better. Actually, the strongest part of my body is probably my back at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, and this is one of the guys that was popping 5, 10 a day, and now he's in bad shape.
Damn.
Okay. Now, let's look at it from the spiritual side. Do you believe that these things can open up portals?
Facts. Yeah. Anything that alters your pineal gland, it's gonna open up a portal, bro.
Okay.
And depending on what your frequency is at the time or your inner surrounding areas, that's what's you're gonna be affected by. Whether it's a demon trying to possess you, or whether it's you starting to see shit, or all that, bro.
So it all depends on the person then.
Yeah, and their surrounding.
So let's just say that there's a person that is like he suffers with depression, and he pops those.
Yep.
What can he open up possibly? More depression, if you will?
More depression, bro. He'll end up killing himself. I mean, or killing somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that you had mentioned, and I respectfully ask, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. You had mentioned that at one point in your life, you took pills, but you know you left that alone.
Right.
Can you give us possibly any experience that maybe at one point you might have taken too many and it opened up something? Did you ever experience anything like that?
No, not opened up anything, but when I didn't like to take them at night because I would have really bad dreams, like graphic shit, and it was like they were like real nightmares, bro, like demon shit, like really, like they were dreams about like ugly shit, and it was only at night. I wouldn't want to take it before I went to bed.
Wow, so that drug actually got you scared to take it before to go to bed.
Yeah, real shit.
Wow. Well, you know what? I'm thankful for that because, you know, I dream every night and I have those kind of dreams regardless, you know, and I don't even take anything. But it's always bad dreams, you know. But, you know, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take a 5-minute intermission break. We're going to come right back. And I do want to talk about, I got like 2 more subjects I want to talk about, and then we'll open it up for phone calls.
All right.
So once again, everyone, I want to thank everybody who is tuned in. I want to thank everyone who taken time to be a part of this show. And we are going to take a 5-minute intermission break. And so after our 2 next topics, we're going to put up the phone numbers where you guys can call in and either share a story. And once again, I'll reshare this again. Share if you got 2 minutes to share a story, please get to the point. Share one story. I'm trying to be respectful to everyone, because there are people that have told me, Tony, I've been trying to call since you started the show, and sometimes some of the calls are too long. Some people will complain, say some of the calls are too short. So I'm just trying to be respectful to everyone. Get to the point, share your story. This is not a conversation, or just elaborate or ask a question, and we'll take it from there. So once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Come back in 5 minutes, and we're going to start taking phone calls. Welcome back, everyone, to Freaky Tales episode 40. And once again, I want to just reiterate what I said earlier, is that we got possibly 2 more topics, and then we're going to start taking phone calls. So I just want to encourage everyone who is watching, if you're going to call, we're going to keep it under 2 minutes. So please just get to your point, share your story, allow us to elaborate, allow us to comment, or if you just got something you want to ask us, we'll do that as well. But I just want to be considerate to everyone that wants to call in. Other than that, you know what? Once again, I want to thank everybody who took the time out of their Friday to be a part of Freaky Tales. Many of you are excited and happy that Marvelous is here with me, and so am I. You know, so without further ado, you know what? Just, once again, Marvelous, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for taking the time and coming through. You know what? So earlier this week, I believe it was a couple of days ago, as I bring up my notes, you had sent me something about let me get hypnosis / if you will, MK Ultra / mind control. Right. Okay. That might be a lot, but for those of you, once again, hypnosis, MK Ultra / mind control. You sent me a video and I believe this might have been a deposition, or this guy, I don't know if he was in trial or what, but this guy was given a story, and you had told me that he was hypnotized. Can you kind of shed a little bit of light on that?
So the MK Ultra was a program created by the CIA, and it was a form of mind control that was supposed to be made for the military, but they ended up using it on civilians to see, what effects it was going to have, and how much of the multitude of the masses they could have an effect on by admitting a frequency to them, or using sound waves to have an effect on them, or hypnosis where you use certain words and you make people think that they want something but they don't really want it. They're just being subliminally hypnotized. Like a lot of people don't know this, but social media uses the same program. They show you things that you may think that you want, but you really don't. They're just suggestive thoughts. They're putting suggestive thoughts into your mindset, and you really don't want these things, but you end up being a consumer and buying these things or purchasing these things. So yeah, this guy's in a trial, and he supposedly a little boy went missing or whatever, and he's all the statements that he's making are suggestive to a person being hypnotized, because he doesn't remember what happened. You literally have to watch the trial. We were talking about the Berkowitz, the son of Sam, earlier, and I believe that he was part of that program as well, where he said he was hearing voices and stuff like that. I don't believe that it was a mental issue that he had. It might be, but knowing what this program does and how they affect people, they could emit a frequency towards you that can cause a reaction, bro. So that's what I believe it is.
I had heard. I don't know if you had heard the same thing, but people were saying that Manson was a part of that as well.
Right.
That he was almost like an experiment.
Right.
And that's why he was the way he was. I saw an interview recently, and they were saying that this was Manson's first interview ever. I think he had did 10 years already, but it was his first interview. And the things that he was saying made sense. Now, I'm not saying he was speaking truth, but it connected to the story that I heard, that he was a part of a program, something like this.
Right.
And he was saying stuff like, you guys know what you guys did to me. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, sounds familiar, after everything you guys did.
Right.
And then the guy was like, do you think you'll ever get out? And he goes, get out? He goes, from where? Here or here?
Right. You look at the I'm sorry, bro, to interrupt you, but you look at the Nipsey Hussle case, let's bring that to the forefront. Nipsey Hussle's alleged killer, you see the videotape, he had a week or 2 weeks before, he had shock therapy, where he did that. And yes. And his statements, his first defense was that the LAPD paid him $75,000 to do this. When you look at the autopsy of Nipsey, there's 2 different caliber bullets in his body. Why is that? And I believe that to be the same thing, what happened to him, bro. Whether he doesn't remember what he did or whatever, I don't think it was the whole scenario or the narrative that they try to push about him talking to him about being a rat. I don't think that he would have came and smoked them because of that. I think it's a deeper issue than what people really know about, because, and me on my thing, people can go, oh, Marvelous, you're fucking thinking too much, homie, or you're just a conspiracy theorist. Nah, when you study the things that I've studied, bro, and you put all these cards on the table, it makes perfect sense. Nipsey Hussle's whole funeral services was a ritual to Horus. It's crazy, bro. The mother, if anybody wants to look at it, go look at the ceremony that they did at the Staples Center that people paid to be a part of. They paid. The mother goes on there and she has people say, I'm not even going to repeat the words that she says, because it's a thing that it's incantation that raises the demonic spirits from the 9 lower realms. If you study the Book of the Dead or Egyptian mythology, they call it, it's not mythology, but they sacrifice to certain gods, and they give oh my God, it's called libations, which is an offering. Back in the Egyptian days, we'll call it Egyptian days or whatever, in those centuries, the libations were a blood sacrifice. You would pour blood on the ground of the sacrificial offering that you sacrificed, which is Nipsey. In the services, she poured water and a plant, and everybody said these words that she told them to say. and she's telling all these, and I'm sorry to say, but it's not like derogatory, but black people, oh, come back to your roots, come back to your African roots and stuff like that. Well, if you really study history and migration, the majority of black people, and if they get mad or whatever, that's fine, but the majority of them are not essentially from Africa, like the tribe of Ham or Kemet. They're literally Israelites. And it's crazy, bro, that you know, when they study, a lot of black people know this already. You know, they study what I'm saying right now. People get mad at me for saying, oh, you know, how is our culture with them, and you're pushing the Black Israelite movement. No, I'm not pushing none of that, bro. It's the whole, if you study prophecy and migration, it states that where our people come from. You know, you go tell the people that are really melanated in Mexico, like Oaxaca, or what, that have, you know, the woolly hair and stuff and look black, they look like they're from Africa. Tell them that they're African, then, you know, they'll probably try and kill you, homie. Right. They're Mexican. They'll die for that. Right. You know. Right. No. So yeah, it's a trip, bro. I believe that these people were hypnotized. They're still using these programs and doing these sacrifices, bro. Yeah. You know what? And yeah, it's a mouthful, bro. It's like, it's so much to take in. I mean, just what you said right there, you can rewind it 10 times and grasp something different every time, you know, you speak. And I'm glad you're sharing on that. But I do believe that some people have been experimented, you know, have been experimented on. If you look at the movie, and I know this is just a movie, but I do believe that sometimes they show truth in movies. What's his name? Jason Bourne. Are you familiar with that movie? This whole thing was about him being hypnotized, if I'm correct. Yep. And he doesn't really know who he is, but he's alive and well, and he's out there living among society. Right. And they're trying to get him because he knows all of this information. I think a lot of times that when so many people, like, let's just say Nipsey, maybe somebody saw him that this guy can be a powerful voice for the people. We cannot afford that. Nope. You know, it's kind of like what they said about Malcolm X. That's too much power for one man to have. And guess what happens? He's gone. People were saying the same thing about, if you will, the reggae singer Bob Marley. They said he was getting too powerful with his music. They got rid of him. And this is according to, and this is public knowledge, you can look it up, ex-CIA agent comes forward right before he dies, and he was told by the U.S. government to go over there, even though he swore to protect this country. He swore to go over there and to befriend Bob Marley. And he said the reason why he's coming forward is because he felt so bad, because he said Bob Marley was a good man. And this is the CIA, a white CIA agent on his deathbed. And once again, you guys can look it up, Google it. The information's right there at your fingertips. And he said he felt bad because he befriended him and Bob Marley was good to him. But because he swore to his country, he was told to plant something in his shoe. Right. So when he got in his shoe, it poked him. Right. He ended up dying. Cyanide. So this guy ended up confessing on his deathbed, and he felt really bad. And with the CIA thing, and I'll capitalize on that. The CIA thing, each of them that do have an assassination under their belt, they're able on their deathbed to say who they killed. Wow. So like the Princess Diana thing, they harvested her organs after that. She was still alive. You know, she was able to live after that car crash. They stated that one. They stated the Bob Marley thing. The Dr. Sabi thing hasn't come out yet. You know, I'm waiting on that one. Yeah. You know, but yeah, a lot of people, bro. Now, Dr. Sabi, he, and I say supposedly because I didn't do my own homework, but I'm just going to say what everyone has said, that he was healing people with, I guess, organically. Organically, yep. Okay. Do you know anything about him or what he was doing? Or do you believe that because he was healing, that maybe he was a threat to if you will, the medical, the elite, the elite industry? Facts. Okay. He was going against a pharmaceutical company and showing people how to kill themselves organically, an organic method. From 3 to 6 months, you could heal yourself of any blood-borne pathogen. If it's an organic disease, that comes from either an animal or something that you've eaten. Even AIDS, even some like AIDS. AIDS was created by the CIA and sold to the military, a military project that they tested on melanated people, because melanated people have a higher concentration of gamma in their blood. They're able to live longer. Your organs are better. You're faster. Your agility, everything about you, bro. Your stamina,
right.
Everything is better. And they want to say that we're equal, but there's no such thing as equality, bro. There's people
right.
that have a stronger bloodline
yes.
than other people, you know. So, anyways, he came with an organic method to cure people, and they told him, "Well, prove it. Bring us patients that you've cured, and who gave you your doctorate, like your certificate. You know, I don't have to go to Harvard to get your white man's certificate. You know, I'll show you." And he brought over 200 people, you know, to prove and these people were diagnosed with full-blown AIDS, a certain amount of time to live, 6 months to a year or whatever, and he cured them way before that, bro, by just plainly switching out their diet to an alkaline-based diet and remove all acidic foods from their body. You know, no asada, nothing made by corporations. Do
right.
not eat nothing. Everything that's made in the supermarket in the middle of the aisles is created under a program called Agenda 21 to destroy you, to kill you, to depopulate you. They start our life expectancy system to kill us when they first inject us with the immunization shots that they say are for healthy, to stop all these old things like what do they say, smallpox and I forgot the other ones. I had my grandpa's niece died from it. It was it used to attack people. Polio. Okay. There you go, the polio shot. All that stuff, you know. So yeah, bro, I just, you know, people may call it conspiracies, but I mean, I'll show you the facts. These real programs that they got going on. You know, the whole AIDS thing, they tested it on. They told them they had it was a cure for malaria and mosquito stuff in Africa, and they injected them with full-blown AIDS, bro. And like over 2 million people died, like off that injection. That sucks. Like,
yeah.
That's worse than any serial killer. They're murdering people on massive amounts of people, bro. And these serial killers may kill 20 people, okay? You know, they may, but that's not the massive amount of people that these elite are killing.
Yeah.
Millions, bro.
There's a movie, I don't know if you guys remember. It started Dustin Hoffman, Cuba Gooding Jr., and I'm trying to remember the name. Would you happen to remember, Norbert? Cuba Gooding Jr., and there was one more great actor. Morgan Freeman was in it. I want to say Donald Sutherland. It was a great movie, but it was about a disease. I believe it was up north, brought in from a monkey.
Oh, that was Outbreak. Dope movie. And today we're talking about, what is it, monkeypox? Yeah.
You know, so, and it was funny how in the movie, and again, this is just a movie, but in the movie, and I do believe they show some truth in these movies, they had the cure all along.
Yeah. They had it.
But they didn't care. They would rather smoke those people. And sometimes I wonder to myself, can people really be that cruel, man?
Yeah. I believe so.
Now, you know, Marvelous, people listen to you talk. To some people, you are a very intelligent, very knowledgeable person, okay? I think that.
Thank you, bro.
Now, I do want to say this, though. Whether people disagree with you or not, we always challenge them. Go do your homework.
Right.
Go do, you know, we're not going to sit here and say, you know, what we say is Bible. You know, go and do your own research. If they want to challenge you or at least have a discussion with you, they know how they can reach you.
Yep.
Okay. Now, and then there's the other people that guy's crazy.
Yep.
That guy's lost.
Yep.
Do you ever get DMs like that or comments like that at all?
Well, I get DMs congratulating. I get DMs, cursing me. I get DMs, death threats. Wow. I get DMs. I have a lot of military and that follow me, bro, that give me a lot of stuff that they're not supposed to be talking about. I get people that send me a lot of most of the factual information that I get are from pages that are just made up, spur of the moment, and that they can't, you know, they say, I apologize for making this page or whatever, but I can't message you from my page and I don't want you to know who I am, but I'm gonna send you this information. Look it up, and I'll look it up, and then that shit's real. It's
do
real
you
shit.
think when these people send you this stuff, obviously they're not expecting you just to take their word for it, but they're giving it to you for you to look into it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then from there you make up your mind.
Right. And what's a trip is that some people just randomly either hear about me, not to say it like that in an abusive way, or they seen a podcast where I talked about something and they'll be like, I would have never freaking thought that you knew that shit. Why? Like, how is it somebody like you in East LA, a gang member or whatever the hell, you know, how in the hell do you know that shit?
Right. But once again, Marvelous, they judge the book by its cover because they don't know how to read.
Right. It's crazy.
You know what? Because I remember there was two guys that would constantly tell me, you need to get him on your show. You need to get him on your show. And the reason why I was hesitant in the very beginning was because the other podcast, the Rhodium Radio, is dedicated to music. So I would always ask, you know, does he rap? No. Does he sing? No. Is he an actor? No. So I was somehow trying to get it to work. Okay. But then I just said, somebody finally said he's very, very knowledgeable. You can ask him whatever, and he'll answer it, whether it's with music. And then one guy said he spoke one time on frequencies when it came to music.
Right.
Then that's when I said, okay, that's it. I was just trying to find an angle to bring you in. Like, I had a guy one time that was a literal clown. Like, he dresses up like a clown and goes to parties and he entertains people. And he wanted an interview, and I said, what are we going to talk about?
Right.
Other than you're a clown. You know, and I, like, have you wrote a book? No. Have you been in a movie? No. So I try to find an angle to bring people in, but I'm glad I brought you in, man.
I appreciate it.
I believe
too, bro.
that I made a friend, and I'm thankful for that.
Same here, homie.
So we talked about hypnosis, MK Ultra, mind control. Do you believe, this may be interesting, do you believe there's people in the hood that have been hypnotized, that possibly still are?
Oh yeah, facts. And there's a big part of that program that the CIA created is used in the prison system.
Wow. Okay.
That's what's crazy about it.
Okay. Can you? Is there anything that you can share that possibly goes on in the prison system that possibly can lead to them being different when they get out, as far as hypnotized? I don't know the right words I'm looking for.
Well, yeah. Well, all the new jail systems are going to be called re-educational centers. But it's going to be, people aren't going to be designated to be what do you call it? Like, raised a bad way. They're not going to say that, oh, the reason why this person created this crime is because he didn't have his dad in his life, or he didn't have whatever. It's going to be mentally unstable, because they want to issue you more pills and stuff like that. So that's what's going to be crazy. Then they're supposed to change them within the year. The name of the Twin Towers, the name of the old county jail. Okay.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I had a friend. I don't consider him a friend anymore. Things happened. But here's his story. He did 15 years in a federal penitentiary. He wanted to get out early. So he tried to lie and said that what you just said, I did this because the way I was raised. I didn't have a happy home. I'm always depressed. I'm suffering from anxiety. And he ended up admitting to me that he was lying. But what he wanted to get treated, have a doctor look at him and say, okay, this guy shouldn't be in jail. He needs to be in a hospital. He'll be out next year. Yeah. That's what he thought was going to happen to him. So he started seeing, I guess, somebody that he could talk to in prison. I don't know. Psychiatrist. And why do you feel this way? Oh, because my mom this. Oh, because my father this. And then he would start crying. They would give him this medication. Then he would come back the following week, give him the medication. Now, there are times when I have seen this person. I haven't seen him in, I don't know, 5 years. But there were times that I would catch the old school homie. And then there would be times that it just wasn't him anymore. Yeah. So I don't know if he was on or off the medication. Right. But when he was, if I could say normal, he would tell me, bro, I know that those drugs really fucked me up. He goes, and he admitted, I fucking lied. I still did my fucking full 15. I thought I was going to get out. He goes, but I fucking took drugs for fucking years. And now the way I think is totally different, man. Off. Now, here's what he said. And maybe I'm speaking to somebody out there. He said that there would be times that he would see his family and they would no longer be family. Like, that's not that he knew that was his mother. He knew that was his brother, but he had no no sympathy for them anymore. He could rip them off, you know, or he could, you know, mistreat them and not feel any mercy. Like, that's my family.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have that no more. He said all of that was gone. You know, there are certain people, like, for an example, like, say your daughters or your sons or whatever, you would never touch them. Let's just say that one day that's just gone. And now you're threatening your son.
Yeah.
I'll kill you.
Yeah.
He said that's where it got me. So I wonder if that was possibly what they did to him.
Probably, bro. I know one of the medications that's very detrimental to people is that medication that they offer you, Seroquel. Seroquel is a psychotic ass drug.
Wow. Okay, one last topic, and then we're going to go ahead and get into our calls. But this is something that I don't know a lot of, but I have heard a lot of stories of. So if you have any stories, possibly you can share with us. And this is something that's actually a woman about 2 pages ago, because a lot of people don't know, this is like my 6th Instagram page. You know, they kept getting deleted. But I want to talk about incubus and succubus. So now for the people that may not know, let me give it a definition. An incubus is a demon in male form that seeks to have sexual intercourse with sleeping women. The corresponding spirit in female form is called succubus. So the succubus is, if you will, the female, and then the incubus is the male. And they say that this is a spirit that seeks to have sex either with a woman or a man while they are in their sleep. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because this woman that shared this story with me like 2 pages ago told me that she would wake up throughout the years, not only with bruises like on her hand, like on her arms, like if somebody grabbed her and the print stayed of bruises, or bruises between her legs. So I went a little step further and I said, can you elaborate a little bit more on what you mean by bruises between your legs? And then she said, something was having sex with me, and it's always having sex with me, and I can't move.
Damn.
He goes, sometimes I feel, it's almost like that, it's like that sleep, you know, when they say, people say you can't move.
Sleep paralysis.
Sleep paralysis. She goes, I feel it here first, where I can't move, and then I feel it move between my legs. And then, so I said, does it feel like a man? I mean, can you feel like thighs? He goes, no, all you feel is just him going in. And I was like, wow. Now, I bring that up only because last time you were here 2 weeks ago, there was a guy that called.
Yeah, he said the same shit.
He said the same thing.
Yep.
And we thought that he was just playing around.
Yeah.
So we were a bit sarcastic, but he said, no, whatever this is, a succubus, would literally suck him.
Right.
Play with him, whisper in his ear or whatnot. So I guess I bring that out to light that when we start taking phone calls, if any of you have somewhat experienced this, please call in and share with us. You don't have to say your name, okay? And please, we don't want nobody just calling just to say crack jokes about this, because we're being serious. There's even people that are close to my family that women that have suffered from which they call it being raped at night.
Damn.
You know, have you ever heard stories like that, or came across anybody that might have shared something like that with you?
No, I just heard I heard a fake ass story from some fake ass girl that created a whole fake ass narrative that somebody raped her. I heard that shit.
Yeah, I think we all know who that fake ass girl
Yeah,
is.
fake ass shit.
As a matter of fact, that's a succubus.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, and she's probably watching right now. But anyways, Alice, let's go ahead and put up the number. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and connect us. Okay. And I'm glad you brought that up, Marvelous.
Yeah, this is some crazy ass evil people out there.
Yeah. That will make up anything for attention. Even go on tour with it.
Damn, trip.
Okay. Okay. Callers. We are locked and loaded. So who's going to get, we got about 20 minutes to take calls. Okay. So call in right now. Let's see. Okay, let's go. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Caesar calling from Paris. How you doing, Mr. Tonier?
How you doing, Caesar? Thank you for calling in tonight. But do you have a comment,
right.
question, or a story?
Yes, I do. I've been watching your show What's up, Mr. Marvelous? How you doing?
What's up, homie? Thank you for calling in, homeboy.
A lot of people. Oh, thank you. The pleasure is all mine. A lot of people really need to watch out when they're having their babies, because you touched on this. What's the first thing they do after you have your woman has the baby? The nurse takes the baby from you, takes it to another room, and injects her with five different kinds of who knows what.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I have 3 girls, and I always paid attention to that. I just had one girl a year ago. Thank God she's healthy and everything, but I always questioned, why do you take them from them and inject them right away, and with what? Babies come out healthy, and that always got to me. And this last baby, it wasn't. She was born in Pomona, and I kind of want to resisted those vacunas, and it is starting to a big ordeal where like you're not going to take your baby home unless they get vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that goes into a whole big old conspiracy theory. What's your thoughts on that? I heard you touched about it a little bit, but that is something that they do to every single baby that is born. What are they injecting them with?
You know, I'm gonna,
you know what I mean? Nobody knows. They're telling you it's polio. You know, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I want to keep it under 2 minutes. 2 minutes, Tony. I'm sorry.
It's
go
all
ahead.
good, my brother. You know what? Again, I have children. I have grandbabies, and I'm going to be honest with you, Marvelous. Maybe I'm ignorant when it comes to this, but this is actually the first time that I hear of these injections.
Really?
I'm being honest with you.
Damn.
And as many children as I have, you know, and go ahead.
I was sorry. Yeah, they do it to every. My wrong, Marvelous. They do it to every single. Every baby, they take them right from you.
You're right, homie. Yeah, you can't leave the hospital without doing that. You can't. They'll say that you're spreading a disease, that we're gonna have polio, that we're gonna have whatever, the Spanish flu. They make up so much shit, and the nurses don't know. You know what I mean? They go to school to get these certain certifications and stuff, as well as the doctors, and they're being taught something from somebody else too. They're not literally at home doing these experiments to find out for themselves, like Dr. Sebi did, you know, to find out if this really heals you organically. What are the benefits and not beneficial to your body that is going to be healthy for you or detrimental. But yeah, bro, you're right. Every single baby, homie, you can't leave the hospital, you know. And I was talking about this the other day with a client, bro, that, you know, I suggest that you have your baby natural at home in your tub if you can. You know what I mean? You don't need to do all that shit at the hospital, all the shit that they're making you do. But then again, you're not going to have a social security number, and you're not going to have a birth certificate that identifies you for being born in the United States. And you could literally be, that baby could be taken from you and put in a which is called a FEMA camp today. They'll say social services, but it's like you're stuck in the middle. You won't be able to go anywhere because they don't know where you were born, or they'll make up so much story. We don't know, even though you're the parents, we don't know if that baby was born in Mexico. We don't know if that baby was born in the United States. Wow. So we're going to keep this now it's our baby. It's like, you know, you're literally going to have to fight the military, homie, to get your kids. Look at all the kids that went missing. Go for it, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off, but and that is, as great as the country we live in, that's the reality of what we're living in. Yes. In our time, in our neighborhoods, in our counties, and you just had a baby, and you don't have time to think, okay, Mr. Marvelous, polio, all those vacunas, because you study biology, all those supposedly are from back in the days, and everybody's healthy, and if the mom is healthy, the womb is healthy, the baby comes out healthier. Why is this going on with this? Why? And also to touch on the Dr. Sebi, I believe, talk about conspiracies, that's one of the reasons why Nipsey Hussle was killed. A lot of people don't really know about the work he was doing with that doctor, Dr. Sebi, the documentaries he was doing, all of the pushing, all the diets he was pushing. It's the conspiracy, and it's not even a conspiracy. We call it conspiracy because that's what it is. Mel Gibson did that MK Ultra movie. The conspiracy theory. Mel Gibson came out on that, and that's what that movie was about. You know, but I just wanted. I know I'm over 2 minutes. I'm listening to you on TV. I'll listen to whatever else you got to say and make room for other callers.
Thank
you very much for your show, Freaky Tales. I love you. I still love your song, Tony A. Punk shit. I'm still over here pretending I'm you, bro. So just keep it pushing, keep it going. And I appreciate both of you guys.
Okay, thank you, homie. Thank you. Okay, you guys, let's keep it going. We got one more call. Let's go. We got a couple more calls. Caller, your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes. You may have to turn down your TV, please.
Hello?
Yes, we're here. You just
hello?
Yes, you have to turn down your
Hello?
TV, please.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Hello, Marvelous. Hi,
Hi.
Tony.
How you doing?
Hi, what's your take on, what's your take on Bigfoot? Is he a Nephilim? Is he fake? Or can you talk about Bigfoot?
You know what? Talk about Bigfoot. This guy right here, pretty much that's the only picture that we have of him, and it looks like he's doing the Heisman Trophy pose. I will say this: I grew up with a father that he was big, and I used to call them platillos voladores, flying saucers or UFOs. He wouldn't want to call UFOs aliens, Martians. He would say they were humanoids. So I asked him one day, you study about all of this UFO stuff, you study about aliens, and one thing that always stood out to me, he always studied and looked into Bigfoot. My father was a big believer in Bigfoot. I was the kid that questioned everything because I wanted answers. I just didn't want to believe just because my father told me that he was real. So I tried for years looking into it, and I'm gonna be honest with you, caller, and you, Marvelous. I wanted to believe in Bigfoot. Now, do I believe that a Bigfoot exists? The jury's still out, and I'm gonna say I don't know. I said all that to say I don't know.
Man, Tony, you wasted our time, homie.
The Spencer, homie.
You wasted her 2 minutes. No, I'm just playing. But no, the Bigfoot. I personally don't believe in that. There's a Bigfoot, but I do know of hybrid animals that they have let loose in the in the forest and stuff like that. Different stuff, like they've made frog dogs. They've made all kinds of stuff. Animals with 2 heads. So I'm pretty sure they probably spliced DNA, bro. Yeah, DNA with from a bear with something else, or I don't know how you would make a Bigfoot. Maybe it's I don't know. I can't even say anything on Bigfoot, really.
Now, caller, let me ask you a question, and this is only a fair question. Do you believe that a Bigfoot exists?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, and I'll be honest
I just wanted to, because my grandson wanted me to call and ask Marvelous about. My grandson likes to watch Marvelous. He's been watching on all his broadcasts, and he goes, ask him about Bigfoot.
Hey,
So
I appreciate. Tell him I said hi.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Really, thank you.
No, we appreciate.
Yeah, his name is Ryan. He likes watching you, Marvelous.
Hey, thank you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Awesome.
He's only.
Huh?
Speaking of the grandson, he's only 9 years old, and
That's what's
he
up.
loves watching Marvelous.
Hey, thank you, Ryan.
So
I appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much, guys.
Awesome.
And
Thank you.
Tony, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys both for all the work that you guys are doing. Please keep it up.
Thank you very much. Have a blessed one. Okay, let's go.
Keep
You know,
it up.
you were talking about earlier about hybrid animals. Do you believe possibly like a chupacabras?
Oh yeah, that's I was gonna bring that up too, and I forgot. It slipped my mind. But yeah, the chupacabra.
Okay. Caller, excuse me a second. Caller, are you there? Where are you calling from?
Hey, how you doing, man? I'm from New York.
Oh, New York. What part of New York, if you don't mind me asking?
From where this guy murdered the son of Sam.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Okay.
And I'm calling between because he was he said that he seen a dog that told him to go kill people, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yo,
you're right.
Okay, so I'm having a get together, right? Over there is my daughter's birthday, and we live in we had it in upstate New York. There's a lot of trees there and whatever. So, dude, he had come over like 3 times already. Every time he came, dude seen a dog. He said, "Oh, un nahual." It's called like that in in Mexico, right?
Sure.
And it seemed like every time he came from in the woods, because we live like in the woods, he seen a dog. And why is it every time he comes there it happens? He's not himself no more. His eyes start rolling back and everything. So
that's my question. Like, what is it when people see dogs? Like, he wants to go chase after them.
You know what? I just don't know if it could just pertain to dogs because, like for an example, I'll just use a dog for an example. Have you ever seen the movie The Omen? I believe it came out in 1970s. The original Omen. Mm-hmm. That kid, Damien, who was supposed to be the Antichrist, mm-hmm. was protected by a dog, mm-hmm. and that dog was supposedly evil. Right. Okay. There's plenty of movies out there where people who are evil are protected by dogs. But now we come to David Berkowitz, story, and he was supposedly told to kill these people by a dog. Do you think, Marvelous, that there's possibly something attached to these animals that when certain people come around them, it could actually change something in a person?
You know what, bro? I don't believe that. Well, I mean, if you're talking about the dog being an evil, essentially like that, I don't believe that the animals, the real animals, are evil or they can be evil. But I do believe in the skinwalkers that can transform into an animal. Huh. So if they're taking the form of an animal, and people are hearing that.
I'm not saying that the dog was there. I'm saying that he saw a dog in his head, and dude is trying to run after it. Dude is trying to run towards it, but I don't see it. No one else sees it, just him. He's like,
I don't think he should run towards it.
In his head.
Yeah,
bro, this dude crazy, man. He did it like 3 times, man.
Now let me bring this up because is it now again? You talk a lot about portals, mm-hmm. and that's very interesting to people. Is it possible that maybe he might have opened something up where now he just sees things, something in the spiritual realm where nobody else can see?
Man,
exactly.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if he bumped his head or he's using dope. That's always a possibility.
And you know what's funny?
That was my next thing. What if he's using drugs? What if he's using drugs in my house? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Inviting dude over, he out here using drugs, man.
Hey, be careful who you bring into your home, bro. I mean, it's a warning, homie.
Yeah. But thank you, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man.
I'm glad you called in from Yonkers, New York. So.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you, my brother. Have a blessed one. Okay, let's keep it pushing. Okay. Caller, your name and where you calling from? Hello?
What up, Freaky Tales? This is Snowman. What up, Marvelous? What up, Tony?
What up, Snowman?
How you doing?
What's up, Snowman? How you doing, man?
Man, I just been trying to see what topics to touch on because, I mean, I've been Googling so many, waiting for this chance and opportunity. But one thing I wanted to touch on, when I was younger, we had this family friend, my mom's friend, that was Jewish. And we went over her house and, during Hanukkah. And Nickelodeon had this show that was like an alien in space. And telling the kids watching about Hanukkah, and I try to YouTube this and find it, and I can't find it anywhere now. Like if you look at all the Disney kids, Nickelodeon kids, they're even saying that there's this 33 restaurant in Disneyland that you have to be like spend so much money to get into, and they're even saying that's how they take kids from through that restaurant. And I'm a big conspiracy theorist, so if you look at all the Disney kids, they're all fucked up,
mm-hmm.
and that's what I wanted to touch on, because I don't know if Tony A, knows about stuff like that, but yeah, man, that's some stuff I study, and I always wanted to be an actor, and it's just like, man, like the shit they go through is crazy.
Yeah, you go ahead and touch on it. I don't really know too much about that, bro.
That's real, bro. I'm gonna say something to all you parents out there that go to Target and Walmart. There's a group of, and they look like nice women, bro, and they come up to you and they always, your child's so beautiful, and they work for Disney. They all of them that I ran into, and I always run into them, man. They all work for Disney, and your child's so beautiful, and contact me, and they have paperwork with them and everything. We could get your son or your daughter into a commercial, and you can make this much money, and just come and speak with me and stuff like that. Hell no, man, that's a lie from the devil. You know, I would never do none of that shit. But yeah, you're right, bro. There's a door right under the castle. It has a 33 on it. It's actually a restaurant, and it used to be only for Freemasons to enter that, and you had to have literally, and it's still in society today where you your bank account has to have a certain amount of money to eat there. Like it's a trip, you know, or you have to be vouched by for somebody as a Freemason. There's another conspiracy theory, bro. I don't know if you heard of this, that all Masons, how you could identify their houses is they all have a red door. I don't know if you ever heard that one before.
No,
we're on top of that.
I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah,
but,
bro.
you know, I just been kind of trying to study, and it's crazy how you'll see these videos and you'll go back to it, and they're no longer on YouTube or wherever you find.
There's this one interview with Macaulay Culkin, bro, where he exposes the red shoes, the shoes that were made out of the skin of children. One of them made out of the skin of the girl that played in the Poltergeist movie. They sacrificed her. And you know,
I remember that. I remember seeing that interview.
They removed,
and even the dude, what's from the Goonies?
Yeah,
the one with the glasses.
Yep.
That kid.
Yep.
You know, he's outing. You know, a lot. The actor that was accusing him.
Yeah, they sodomized all these kids, bro.
Yeah.
So a lot of us that want that fame, you know, there's definitely a ticket for that. You know, and
I was walking down Hollywood.
That's just what I wanted to.
I was walking down Hollywood Boulevard one day, bro, and there was a bunch of big old white family, gang of kids, man, and they were taking pictures by Walt Disney star or whatever. And I remember I told my daughter, I'm like, hey, Mija, you want to take a picture with this pedophile star? You know, and it's real shit. He's a registered pedophile. He was a pedophile, a pedophilia. You know, all these people it's crazy, bro. Like,
wow.
Why would you want? Well,
yeah,
I don't know.
They say that underneath Disney is where they do the MK Ultra stuff to these Disney kids, you know, like Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, Amanda Bynes. I mean, I could go on, you know, and with all of them. And if you see, they all have issues now. You know, a lot of them. You know, I think just like the guy Keenan, he's on one of the, you know, he's doing all right, Justin Timberlake. But if you see all these Disney stars, you know, they got a lot of shit going on. And that's where they do the MK Ultra stuff underneath Disney is what they say. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for answering the call, and I'm gonna keep watching. I'm doing laundry, so I'm gonna keep watching.
Oh, good, my brother. Okay, thank you, man. Thank you for calling. Have a blessed one. Okay, let's keep it pushing. Okay, keep it pushing. Call. We got a bunch of missed calls, but I'm not calling nobody back. But let's go. Okay, the lines are open, you guys. Okay, here we go. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Oh yeah, from Vallejo.
How you doing, man?
Oh, your name and where you calling from?
Can you please turn down your television, por favor?
Oh yeah, how you doing, man? First of all, much love to you guys. Marvelous, and to you, Tony. Yeah, hold on, turn down my TV. I want to ask you guys about. I don't know if it has to do with the context you guys are talking about, but about the secret treasures, like
secret treasures.
You know, there has been, like have you guys heard about the story about the Declaration of Independence, where it's like a secret map to a hidden treasure somewhere and shit?
No, man.
Are you talking about the movie, bro, with Nicolas Cage?
That, by the way, I like those movies.
Something like that.
I like those movies. You know, do stuff like that exist, honestly?
I know that there's treasures within our cultura, within the Mexica and stuff, you know, under the pyramids and stuff. There's a lot of treasures, bro. There's lakes of mercury under there. I believe that most of the gold was stolen, though. Yeah. You know, it was stolen. I believe the Vatican has a majority of that.
I believe that too.
Yeah, you know, shit like that, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I believe a lot of the stuff, though, bro. I mean, the major stuff, besides the Ark of the Covenant, I believe the majority of stuff has been found, you know, centuries ago, bro, and is put away.
I'm glad you brought up the Ark of the Covenant, 'cause that's one thing that I do know about. I've studied the tabernacle for years. The tabernacle of Moses was in the wilderness, and then it became the Temple of Solomon, and then it was renovated by Herod during the time of Jesus, and then from there it was destroyed in 70 AD. Now, do you believe that the Ark of the Covenant has been found or is still underground somewhere?
Well, I believe that was I believe, I mean, they say it's still buried, but I believe that it was taken by the conquistadors.
Okay.
Because that's our story.
Okay.
That's our story. The whole Israelite thing, that's our story.
Okay.
We carried around the ark by Moshe, and when the Azteca Mexicas were migrating from Utah down towards the bottom of Mexico from the land that we were to be inherited. Well, all this land, actually, the Americas. Right. But yeah, bro, I believe that to be our story. It said that the ark, it spoke to us. It was our God.
Okay. Two stories that I've heard that, and I'm trying to remember the rabbi's name who claimed he saw it, that it's in the Temple Mount in Jerusalem underground. And according to him, he said he saw it. Mm-hmm. Then there's a documentary saying that they have it in Ethiopia.
Yeah, I always say that.
So, like, I don't know where it's at, but I will say this. I do believe, and I'm a firm believer in this, that one day it will be brought out to light. People will see it.
Oh, yeah. So, I know that this to be fact, that if you do not contain the frequency of the Most High, or within that frequency realm, you cannot touch you will die from even being around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some people believe that even see it, right. That you can die. A great example of that, if you remember, Raiders of the Lost Ark, if you remember at the very, very end when you had the Germans that were about to open it, mm-hmm. and I know it's just a movie, Harrison Ford told his girl, close your eyes, because they knew that they weren't worthy to see it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I do believe touching it as well.
There's an ark of, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the comment section, the Ark of Gabriel that was found recently, a couple of years ago, and I think it was Russia. And when they opened that up, over 200 people died on the spot.
Wow, never heard of that one. I have to look that up.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Okay. Caller, I hope we kind of answered your question.
Thank you for calling, bro.
Oh, hell yeah, bro. Hey, man, much love to you guys.
Thank you, bro. Have a blessed one. Okay, we got about 7 minutes. Okay, let's go. Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Tony.
Yes, sir. Please turn on your TV, sir.
Yeah, down. So listen, I'm listening to the whole subject. Everything, you got a conversation with Marley going on. But I got to be honest about a certain thing.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on over here, man? I mean, some of this shit is going so far up in the left. Some of this stuff, I cannot understand where it's going, man. I mean, we're all part of the earth. We're all living out here. We're all fucking people of the world. I think we all got respect for everybody. You know?
You know what, sir? I can barely understand you. Your phone is very muffled. I didn't hear anything you said.
I just heard what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, I heard that part, but your phone sounded very muffled. So if you can repeat that again, I would greatly appreciate it and try to answer you, but it just sounded very muffled.
Okay, my bad. So if I sound muffled, I don't mean to sound muffled, but look, we're out here, we're having a conversation, right?
Yes.
So the future of the children, the future of the new generation of all these people coming up and coming up, fucking.
He hung up. I don't know. He was just saying something about the future of this generation, the future of this, and I don't know where he was going with this. So, okay, maybe. Okay, who's this? Caller, your name and where you calling from?
Hey, this is Bobby Boy. I'm a truck driver calling from all over.
All good.
What's up, Bobby?
Hey, Danny Boy, it's Bobby.
What's up, homie?
Hey,
tell us a story, homie.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stories, but I will have to be on the show for that. But I have a few I could share as a truck driver. Late night hours, I see a lot. I've seen a lot of old people outside. Within a month time frame, I seen lady where she looked kind of like a witchy woman. The way she was dressed, like a veil type thing over her head.
Okay.
And every time I'm passing by, when I see these people, I can't make out their face. It looks just, I don't know if it's a shadow of the timing of like a tree that they might be walking by, and and it just looks either disfigured or you just like you can't make it out.
Like more like a silhouette, or it might be blurred.
Yeah, like you just can't make out a perfect face. You know what I mean? Or like it's just like blank, or it's just like you just can't make it out like a normal person. You know what I mean? And I've seen that maybe 3 times. And there was even a person I seen one time sitting up against a business sign, and it looked like a burnt zombie. Like he was in a suit and everything, but he was really like black and like it didn't look normal. It don't look like a normal person.
Wow.
But sometimes I wonder, like, why am I seeing these things late hours of the night? You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know. Let me ask you this.
To see an old person.
Yeah. For some people, this may be silly, but have you ever thought about possibly just logging all this in somewhere, all your stories, man, and maybe consider writing a book of everything that a truck driver sees?
Hey, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
People will buy that shit.
Yeah, I've actually thought about doing a journal because I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, man.
Yeah. So, thank you, man.
I don't just drive local in Southern.
Right.
I've driven all over the states as well. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All good, man. Thank you for calling in, bro. We greatly appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Bobby.
I love what you guys are doing.
Thank
Keep
you,
it up.
Colonel. Thank you. Okay, we're going to take one more call, and then we out of here. Let me see. Okay. Caller.
Hey, what's up, Tony? What's up, Marvelous?
What's up, homie?
What's up, my brother?
Hey, what's up, G's? So look, I'm calling in from Escondido, California, from North County, San Diego. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Shout out all my G's and players, you know out there.
Huh.
But well, check it out. So back when I was probably like 5 years old, man, there was like a little laundromat over here in my city over here, and it's still right there and everything. And so what I remember is running around like as a kid, and I go outside, right? And as I step outside the laundromat, I look to my right, and there's these two dudes in with their back of their van, their doors open wide open, and they're offering me candy, right? It's like, and so like off the bat, I'm thinking like they're trying to rob me, right? Mm-hmm. So I just kind of like get like a little shocked, right? And then I run back to my mom and like let her know what they told me and everything. So then, check it out. So what the trip here is that I seen one of the dudes. So like probably like 10 years later, bro. Me and my parents go to Albertsons right here too, like in the same city, right? And they went in the store, and I'm inside like the car because I sit back in the car and everything. And so in front of me, dude, the car parks, right? And guess who it is, dude? It's one of the guys that was there, like that was trying to rob me and shit. And like I'm at this just shocked out of my my mind just like is in shock, right? Because I'm like, what? Because like I obviously remember like the dude's face, So like I mean I'm still like a little kid, like 15, 14 and shit. So I can't really fucking do much, But I mean if I see him now, I'm for sure fucking busting his head and shit, Because like I mean if he did it to me and shit, like who knows how many kids they fucking stole out here and shit,
Yeah.
Like, and I heard that you guys were like talking about kids, right? Like earlier, like in the show, and it just came to my mind and shit, Like I was like, man, like what about all the kids that never made it? You know what I mean? And like I could have been one of them and shit. But I mean, God's grace, now I'm still out here and shit, But yeah, bro, like it was a trip because I seen him like 10 years later and shit. Like he parked in front of me, dude. Like it's crazy how like the life works, right? It's like, but yeah, I mean, just wanted to share that story and stuff.
Thank you, man. Greatly appreciate that. You know what? And I'm glad that you shared that because, like you said, what about all the kids that go missing and they never find? This is another.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a story for another time. But I remember Marvelous as a kid, and I'll say I was maybe 12 years old, and I'm walking to junior high school. Today's middle school. So I was walking in 7th grade, and for like about a year and a half, this is no lie, I was always chased by a man. I was always chased. And I told my family, I told the school, and it wasn't until about a year later that my brothers finally told me, okay, show us. I go, And it always happened because I used to go to school late, and then I would always see the guy. He used to cross the street. He used to cross the street. I used to walk across the street again.
The same dude?
Same damn dude for about a year and a half.
Damn.
And my homeroom used to be in a horticulture area. I still remember my homeroom teacher, Mr. Kinoshita, and I used to hop the fence and run into my class and he'd peek out, and he would be right there looking at my class. I saw him for about a year and a half. My brothers finally saw him. They were trying to approach him, but he went into a house. I think he knew that we were finally on to him. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I don't know if he was a real kidnapper or whatever. But yeah, man, thank you for that, bro.
Yeah.
You just brought that back to my
That's
remembrance.
crazy, bro. Hey, may I throw in like a little side story too here, real quick?
A little what?
A side story.
Yeah, go for it, man.
A little side story. So look, probably like a couple months ago, dude. My prima, she lives in Washington State, up north right here, like on the west coast over here. And she calls me up. Well, she calls up like my dad first, and like my dad lets me know, hey, call your prima or your primo. My prima's brother, like, cause my niece, I guess someone fucking just took her. And I guess like so the story goes that I guess these two parents, African Americans, they adopted this girl, and the girl went to school with my niece, right? And so I guess she ended up like luring her to go like away, like on a vacation to California with their family. So my niece, being like kind of like young and dumb and everything, she's probably like 14 at the time too, probably like around there. And she goes with them, you know, she packs up a bag and everything, and she dips with them. So like my prima, she's losing her mind, and over here I'm calling like the FBI, everything I could do, right? Because like they got word that she was going to Tijuana and shit, like with them and shit. Because I guess they had some kid from school was in contact with the adopted daughter. So like, but it was weird because it was like kind of like messages that were being sent between them. But at the end, dude, we just posted so many flyers like in Washington and we, which is active, you know. And thank God that the woman that took her, that was with her, she kind of like saw all like the media about her, like the local thing right there, and she ended up like saying like, oh fuck that, you know. But they ended up shaving her head, dude, and who knows what they did to her, you know. I haven't seen her yet, but I mean, she's good and everything. She's still like a little kid and everything, but I mean, they shaved her head off and well, like her hair and stuff, and
damn,
yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. How like that, like this whole thing is like still going around, you know. That's one thing that I don't fuck with at all, man. Like I see something and I'm gonna do some stuff out there, you know what I mean? Like little kids like that, now
that's right.
Be dead, you know what I mean? But I mean that's a thing, you know what I mean? But
good.
But yeah, man.
Thank you.
I love your story, bro. I mean, with like your show, bro, and marvelous, man. Like UG, man. Fucking, I love your artwork, bro. And keep it up, brother.
I appreciate you, homie. Thank you for calling in, bro.
Yes, sir. Let's take one more and we call it a night. Okay.
Oh, show.
Oh, they just hung up. Okay. Caller, your name and where you calling from? You are the last caller of the night. Please turn down your television, you guys.
Okay. Yes. Hi, my name is Lila, and I'm calling from STV, and I just wanted to say shout out to you guys. I'm a fan of Freaky Tales. I wanted to tell my Freaky Tale today.
Yes.
I had a trippy ass experience with Santísima Muerte. I grew up with a bunch of Southsiders, but I actually adopted a traditional way, and I was just, doing the native thing, and I live in the same neighborhood I grew up in, so I always see my homegirls from the past. And one of my friends came by, and she was extremely emotional, and I actually was hosting drum practice here, like powwow practice here at my house. And I had a friend here that, she's Cliquin Alaskan, and she has the right to cleanse people and stuff. So I told her, you want a cleaning? And she was like, yeah. She was really emotional, and she got a cleaning from my friend. And I didn't think nothing of it. I was just cool, whatever. And then for some reason, in my mind, I kept thinking about her, but she was a friend that I know, but I don't chill with that much because she does other stuff. And so I was like, I don't know, for some reason I feel like I have to go see her, go visit her,
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but I'm going to go by myself. And I told my partner. So I went by myself and I went to go see her, and I was like, hey, how's it going? How you been? And she was like looking kind of weird, you know, and I was like, what's going on? And she didn't want to talk or anything. And I was like, hey, you know, we're friends. What's up? And I tried to give her a hug and she kind of pushed me away. And I was like, and then I talked to her daughter because I know her daughter for many years. And she's all, my dad's in jail. I guess he had been sodomizing and molesting his own daughter for 3 years. And my friend, the one that gave her that blessing, told me that she took a veil off of her eyes and like she was blind to all that was going on in her house, you know?
No, she could see it.
So that day when I went there, I was like trying to talk her out of it because she was like barricading the kids after that trauma, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, girl, you know, contact social services and let them know what happened. You're the victim and blah, blah, blah. So whatever that, next thing you know, I wasn't feeling good after I left her pad. Like some bad energy like clinged onto me from her pad, you know?
Wow. Yep.
And I couldn't sleep. I wasn't feeling good. Like I had this like possession over me and it kept telling me like, you ain't shit. You should do away with yourself, you know?
Wow.
You ain't shit. You ain't shit. And I was like, what? Like, fuck, you know? And I just couldn't sleep. It kept doing that to me over and over and over until finally I gave into it. I was like, fine, fuck it. Lead me to whatever you want to do. I go, I ain't shit. Fuck it. So, but I grabbed my medicine, you know, like my cedar, my sage, and I was like, I let that bad spirit lead me. And I shit you not, man, not a dog barked at me. I was like protected, you know? And then I, you know, contacted my elders and I got a good cleaning and all that. But, you know, I found out around the way that she was being like controlled and blinded and possessed by the Santissima. And when I was bringing that medicine to her, it kind of clinged on to me. So I definitely believe in that shit. That's my freaky tale. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for calling. Greatly appreciate that. Thank you for sharing. And you know what? That's a wrap for us. So we're going to go ahead and let you guys go. And we can take off these headphones now. And first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for calling in. We're still getting calls, but you know what? It's a wrap. Once again, I got to respect not only my team's time, but also my co-host time. We give you guys 2 hours. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Other than that, once again, I just want to thank Marvelous for being my co-host. Marvelous, is there anything you want to share? Or maybe anything you want to comment about tonight? Or maybe there's something you still want to elaborate on?
Just say thank you for having me on the show again. It just makes you think, like, all these stories that you're hearing and stuff. I always teach my kids, and I suggest everybody do the same. You know, you're not always going to be there to protect them, so show them how to protect themselves. Yes. And it may sound like the bad thing to do, right. And I don't care if people judge me for what I'm going to say, but teach them where to stab somebody if they have to, how to use a knife or how to use a gun,
how to protect
themselves. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because there's going to be a time where you're not going to be around to protect them, and they're going to need to learn how to fend for themselves. You know, and it's sad, especially a little baby girl or, you know, even your little baby boy, whatever. It could be at the park and you have a dirty ass pedophile or whatever.
Absolutely.
And even go to that website, you know, it's sexoffender.com, and you go type in your address and you'll see all the pedophiles around you, and print those papers out where they live right next door to you probably. You know what I mean? Know who your neighbors are, you know, or who's on your block, because you never know. Somebody could be eyeballing you for a week and you'll not know it.
You know, and it's very, very true. We had a guy here not too long ago that moved in, and he probably didn't last maybe about 3 months, because the news about him came out really quick that he was a pedophile. Mm-hmm. You know, and the guy looked like a young dude, but he was a registered pedophile. Mm-hmm. He had and here's the bad thing, Marvelous. Like, I thought it was his wife. I never spoke to him. Mm. He spoke to me one time, but I was already up on game. He had a wife and he had a kid, you know, with him, and I felt bad because the guy looked like a nice guy, okay? Mm-hmm. And one day, I'm playing some music, and he approaches me. He goes, "Oh, you're bumping lighter shade of brown." And I was like, but I was already up on game, and I think he was just trying to make conversation with the neighbors, but he didn't last long. He left because everybody, it spread like wildfire. This guy's a registered sex offender, pedophile. And, you know, but I like what you said. Yeah, you can look it up and you'll find out who's who. Other than that, once again, I want to thank my team, the Hip Hop Jedi.
That's right.
My son, B. Scanless, for helping me promote this, helping me push this. Once again, Norbert for helping me promote this, helping me push this, being a part of our team. If you guys don't follow Norbert, what is your name? Nobi _ lightning. Nobi. Go to my page. I tag him on every flyer and follow him because he does the most dopest flyers on his page, and he promotes every artist. And I also want to thank Alex Cervantes, the guy who runs this ship. Once again, if you guys need a car to be fixed, hit him up. He's on 81, or go to my page, look at the flyer, tag it. I tag him 81. You need your hoopty fix, hit him up. Okay. Other than that, I want to thank everybody who took the time to be a part of our show tonight, everybody who called in, everybody who, on the live chat, everybody who liked, disliked, everybody who commented, negative, positive. It doesn't matter. You guys still watched. So I want to thank you guys. Other than that, have a blessed night. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Marvelous, you want to close out? Is there anything else you want to say?
No, that's it. I appreciate all you that tune in. Thank you very much for the love and support. Keep pushing this movement. Keep viewing.
Absolutely. Expect the unexpected, and we'll be back.
That's right.
In 2 weeks. Thank you.